Okay, now I'm going to add the first fragment into the main activity. So go to the main activity, the Java file. Here I'm going to create an object of button. Here I need to add some packages for the button. I just add packages for the button. Now here I'm going to create the action listener for the button. bn is equal to find view by id r dot id dot, that is b1. I need to cast it into button. Okay, now I'm going to create action listener for the button. Set on click listener. Here also you need to add some packages. Add the needed packages. Okay, now here I am going to add the first fragment into this activity. So you need an object of fragment transaction API for adding the fragment into the activity. So here I'm going to create an object of fragment manager class. By using that fragment manager, we have to get we get the object of fragment transaction. So fragment manager fragment manager is equal to, there is a method called get fragment manager. Here also you need to add some packages. Android app.fragment manager, you need to organize that. Okay, now we need to create an object of the fragment transaction. Fragment transaction, I give it as ft is equal to fragment manager dot begin transaction. Okay, here also you need to add some packages. Now I'm going to add the fragment into the layout. So ft dot add, here I'm going to add it into the main activity. So here it is r dot id for the main activity is main id, and provide that, sorry, first you have to create an object of that fragment class. Here the first fragment class is first fragment. So here I'm going to create an object of first fragment f1 is equal to new first fragment. Now add it into the main activity using ft dot, here an object of fragment transaction dot add, there is a method called add, and here is the id for the main activity, and here I provide that object of the first fragment. Now I have to commit this transaction. So ft dot commit. Now we successfully added the first fragment into the main activity. So we have to check it out. So I'm going to run the project, run as Android application, and open the emulator. Okay, now here the project is launched on activity. So here it is the main activity, and that contain that button called show first fragment. So here I just click that button. Now you can see that on the main activity itself that first fragment is added, and in the first fragment there is the second button. So whenever user click the second button, it will open up the second fragment. So we have to code it now. So now just go to the second fragment, first fragment of Java, and here also create an object of button class bn, import the required packages, And now here I'm going to get the connect this object to the ID using find view by ID method. So bn is equal to, here you need to use the object of the view class v dot find view by ID r dot id dot, that button object is button 1. We have to check it now. So go to the first fragment layout, and that object is, I give it as button 1, change it into b2, save it. Okay, r dot id dot b2. Now cast it into button. Now create the on listener for this button, bn dot set on click listener, new view dot on click listener. You need to import some packages. Okay, now again we need an object of fragment manager. Fragment manager fm is equal to get fragment manager, import import the required packages. And okay, now we need that fragment transaction object. So fragment transaction fm is equal to, sorry, ft is equal to fm dot begin transaction. Now we need to create an object of the second fragment class. Here the second fragment class is second fragment. So second fragment f2 is equal to new second fragment. Now we need to add the second fragment into the first fragment. So ft dot add, here we are going to add it into the second fragment, first fragment. So r dot id dot, here the id for the second fragment is second fragment id, second fragment first fragment. Here the id for the first fragment is first fragment id, and here the object is f2. Now we need to commit this transaction. So ft dot commit. Okay, now we successfully added the second fragment into the first fragment. Now we can run it. Run it as Android application project. Okay, now the project is going to launch. Okay, now the project is launched on the emulator. I click the button on the first activity. It will open up the first fragment, and on first fragment there is a enter button. So I click that button. It will open up the second fragment. Guys, this is how we add a fragment programmatically into an existing view group or an activity. Please subscribe my channel now for getting more video updates. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next part.